You're listening to the gory... I just totally screwed that up. The Gorehound Storytellers Hour. And I'm here with Jason.
Hello.
And we have our special guest on the shitter, Erika.
Hello.
Welcome, Erika.
Welcome to the Gorehound Storyteller Hour. She's going to tell a super creepy story. But first, I'm going to talk about Young Guns, my movie pick for today. And the reason why is...
It's for rent.
It's for rent. It's not the best Western ever, but has some really awesome actors in it. Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, Charlie Sheen, Dermot Mulroney, and Casey Sigmaskako. I can't even pronounce his last name.
That was terrible.
But I picked this movie because it was kind of a blockbuster movie. It made a lot of money. It's kind of weird because it's a Western and it has like rock music in it. You know, like, what's his name? What's that song? Help me out, man.
I'm going blank. What song? In the movie?
Oh, God. I'm having a brain fart. To be honest with you guys, we're all having a little rough morning over here. We're hanging in there.
We'll push through it. Don't worry.
But check out this movie. It's really good if you haven't seen it. Great early 90s Western. And here's
Jason. Hey, everyone. My movie pick for the week is John Carpenter's Vampires. One of my all-time favorites. James Woods, which is always fantastic to watch. Excuse me, I have no teeth. Next week, I don't know. It's about a group of vampire hunters that go slaughter vampires. Everyone.
Awesome. Great
Yep.
movie.
Come, stay tuned.
You know, I have a story about this movie. I was in high school when I saw this movie, and it was like the beginning of my drinking career. And we were drinking 40s in the back row, and then we'd drop our 40s, and they would just roll down the stairs. And yeah. Anyway, the rest is history.
Right on. Come into the Gorehound and rent vampires. All right.
All right. So just a little few updates. Buy $100 worth of whatever, rent movies, buy collectibles, and get a $50 gift card to Rivers Point Spa. Take your girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, mom, whatever, dad up there and enjoy a day at the spa.
Right on. We also have magic in the house. Come check out what we have.
All right. And I just want to say thanks to Paul Knopfsinger for doing his show. It was a real big hoot. And
He'll be back on March 8th.
Yeah, March 8th. And then he'll be here probably once a month. So if you miss this upcoming show, he'll be back again. Just make sure you stay on the Facebook page and buy tickets. Tickets
will be in the store and online.
Shout out to Tyree. He's putting together a feature film, How. He needs some people to help him out. If you are a dedicated, loyal person who is on time and punctual, he needs your help. So contact him. And don't forget, there is a filmmakers meeting every first Wednesday of every month.
Yay.
Woo-hoo. All right. So now we have our special guest, Erika. Erika, are you ready?
Yes.
It's nice to have you here.
It's nice to be here.
And if any of you have a story to tell, come on into the store, talk to Jeff, Dustin, or Jason, and we'll get you set up.
Woo-hoo. And here is Erika.
Okay, I got the floor.
Yes.
PG story. I had just moved to California back in 98. Moved to the Sacramento area and was working at Tower Records.
That must have been a cool job.
It was a very cool job. I felt very lucky to have that job. It was about an hour away from where I lived. At the time, was a bunch of suburbs, right? I wasn't in Sacramento. I was working in the suburbs.
The burbs.
Yeah, and then living a little more in the country. So it was about an hour drive each way. I was working one night, got off about 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30. I was really tired, extremely dark, extremely foggy. I remember getting into the car, saying goodbye to everybody. I had a Nissan Sentra at the time, a little wagon. Always got to crack the window. It's nice in California, even with the fog. I don't know if anybody's driven in the fog. It's extremely disorienting. So I knew where it was. I knew how to get home, but it didn't feel like I was on the right road numerous times.
So you were unsettled.
Extremely, yeah. Just both hands on the wheel. It was like, okay, dark. I don't see well at night, driving in the dark. But I knew I was in the right spot, right? Even though it was very disorienting and uncomfortable. I was on a little one-lane road.
Was there a lot of traffic?
None. Absolutely none. 1 o'clock in the morning from the burbs going out into the country where I had a little apartment.
Well, you're still in California.
Yeah, no, there was just nothing.
California knows how to... Sorry, that's a good song.
Detour.
We're kind of laid back around here. Mm-hmm.
So I'm on a little one-lane road, one-lane traffic going each direction. Don't see anybody. Like I said, disoriented, extremely dark. Barely see the street lights. Everything's covered in fog. Really, really thick. I remember there's a gas station up a few more miles on the right, which is all lit up. So once I find that, I figured I'd start feeling oriented.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Make you a little more comfortable.
Yeah. So, nowhere near that destination, I don't think. And all of a sudden I just see some lights, but they're moving. So I'm thinking, okay, it's just another car coming my direction. And as they pass, I feel swish and hear bam.
Uh-oh.
What does a swish feel like?
It felt just this huge breeze by my head.
Was it as bad as Jason Gas right now?
No.
I had deer tacos last night.
Yeah, don't do that again. He's killing us in this room.
We're sitting... Maybe he should be sitting on the shitter right now.
Yeah. I even did it in the other room and wafted it in here.
Okay, sorry, Erika. I'm going to interrupt you.
Okay, so we got the swish, we got the bam. I grabbed the wheel as hard as I could, thinking that the loud noise must have been a blown tire. It wasn't. The car was not moving at all. So, okay, keep going. Look in the back rearview mirror, and all the way in the back, it looked like my back window just exploded and it was cracked to shit. Finally get to that gas station that I was mentioning. Pull over. Notice it just stinks. It smells real sour in the air. Cows or something. I don't know.
Jason in the back seat?
Nope, he was not with me.
You better watch it. I was going to leave the room. I might not.
I get out of the car to check the back windshield, touch it. It's not cracked at all. I don't notice, can't figure out what's going on. I get into the back seat, check the window, back window again. It's covered in egg.
Jason's poop.
Egg? How did egg get on your back window?
That car that passed me, the one car on the road, passed through an egg at my car, went right past my head, hit my hairline. So that's what I felt.
That was the whoosh.
And yes, that was the whoosh.
Whoosh.
And the bam was it exploding. I had a little wagon, Nissan wagon, and it exploded in my back windshield with such force it covered the whole entire windshield.
Grody.
Yeah, it was stinky. It was gross. And just what are the odds? How
Yeah.
very strange. Only car on the road. Either
One in a
way.
million shot. All right.
That's it.
Oh.
That scared Jason's crap out of his ass. That was a really good story. Got any more? I want to hear more.
I do too. I know you have more stories. You're my sister.
Yeah.
Since we're on the subject of gas, you want to tell about the seal?
Perfect.
Okay. So I'll start.
help me.
We're on a family vacation in Oregon. Ruby Beach, I believe.
Where's that?
It's on the coast.
Oregon?
West Coast?
In the state of Oregon.
Okay.
West Coast.
West Coast?
Right around the middle of the state, I think. And we're camping for a week. Okay, go ahead.
Family. I don't remember who was all with us. We were real young. I was probably 6, 7.
And half sister was there.
Okay. And mom and dad.
Just mom and dad. I don't think Jessica was there.
I was so young, I don't remember.
Some other people showed up midweek, but I don't remember either.
I remember we found a little secluded area right on the beach. I don't remember any other people, big groups of people there. We were in a little cove. There's some rocks and stuff, whatever. Again, a little cove. So when we were playing, it was not real warm, not real cold, little wind. Every time the wind would kick up, Mom would look at you and go downwind to fart. Go downwind to pass gas.
It was really, really bad.
Really bad. We all kept blaming Jason. We all kept yelling at him and telling him to go somewhere else or go excuse himself, go to the bathroom.
I'm starting to get really irritated at this point.
Understandable.
Because I wasn't blowing ass.
Smelled like you were, though.
I had to go investigate because I was tired of getting blamed for some shit that was me. I own my ass stench.
Hey, did I hear somebody say shit?
Who's that?
Bill, shut up.
We're live. Oh no, we're not live, are we? Huh.
We're not.
We're
live.
still recording.
On air.
If you got something clogged, I'll fix it.
Yeah, we know, Bill.
Hey, shut up.
All right. Where was I?
So you're investigating.
Oh yeah, I'm investigating. And in the meantime, getting screamed at. So I'm running down the beach. And I discover this rock. And it's the only rock, within 50, 60 yards. And I'm a kid, so I go run as fast as I can, jump on top of the rock. The rock went squish. Oh my god, what the fuck? And I look down. The squish, dude.
What does a squish smell?
Oh, dude, it was so
not a
grody.
rock.
It was slimy, and I think I didn't fall down on it.
Was it shit?
It was.
No, it was way worse.
Vomit?
No, maybe not that bad. So I investigated a little further, and that's where the stench was coming from. And I'm like, what the hell is this thing? And then I finally see like a little flipper. Apparently it was a seal that had been skinned. So it looked like a rock, man. It was flesh and veiny, and yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah, but they left the bins on it.
That's fucked up.
There was feet.
That's sad.
So I'm like, oh, thank God, I found it. I'm not going to take the
smell.
blame anymore.
We didn't believe him. He grabbed us and showed us.
It took me 20 minutes to convince him to come down to the beach and look.
Wow.
That's not my ass smelling, damn it.
It was a big dead sea lion.
Yeah, wow.
So, what is it? Animal Control and Parks and Recreation came and immediately isolated the area and started digging. They buried him right there.
Wow. That's a pretty sad story. Makes me want to cry.
I know, I hate
That's
getting
pretty
blamed for
sad.
stuff
That's
that wasn't me.
messed
Well, you're talking about the seal. Yeah, apparently it's a common thing for fishermen to kill the seal. I don't know why they skinned him. But, yeah.
It's common for cops to kill seals.
Fishermen.
Oh, fishermen. Okay. Wow.
Because they eat fish.
It's like poaching, basically, right?
Yep. That's what Parks and Rec said.
It's terrible. What do they use the skin for?
I have no idea.
Purse? Shoes?
Yeah, maybe wallet, belt.
It's terrible. You want to hear a really disgusting story about history and Hitler?
No.
So I went to the Smithsonian. Fine.
No, I want to hear it. I want to hear more from Erika, though.
I want to hear more from Erika, too. Anything else?
No.
We love you.
So, do you know the history behind... Well, you probably know the history behind Nazi Germany, but some of the torture that Hitler did to the Jews was actually skin Jews and make furniture.
Oh my God.
They would use Jewish skin and make couches and...
That's disgusting.
I'm serious.
I believe
in the Smithsonian Museum. I'm not lying. I've been to the Smithsonian Museum, and you can actually see a human flesh lampshade at the Smithsonian Museum.
The horrors that we do to each other. And I feel really lucky right now because my grandparents were Jewish. Right, Erika?
Yeah.
And they were fortunate enough to escape Nazi Germany.
With most of the family.
Yeah, the parents didn't make it. They both ended up in the concentration camps.
Grandpa got
but they
out.
survived
Grandpa.
them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to go to D.C., it's actually a pretty cool place. Go to the Smithsonian Holocaust Museum. When you walk in, the first exhibit is a old boxcar that they used to load the Jews in, and they have plexiglass in the boxcar. They didn't clean the boxcar, so it still smells of like feces and death, but they just put plexiglass, so you basically walk over this little bridge through it, and you can still smell the musty smell. So it has like this really big emotional impact on people. And you come off this boxcar into this other room, and you see shoes. They used to take shoes,
pile them up.
So you got real shoes piled up in this room, and then you have this picture of what it would actually look like, and it's just miles. I mean, it's just a picture. It's like an illusion, like you're in a huge shoe dump.
Speaking of train cars, my grandmother and her sister escaped in a train car. They put up a pulse wall and shoved themselves in a trunk. And they both peed and pooped on each other. I think it took them 3 days to get up where they needed to go.
Holy shit.
And
no pun intended.
Years later, I don't remember the lady, but she went on the same Underground Railroad that Grandma and her sister did. And so they consulted, and there's, I don't know, at least a chapter in her book. So.
I think it's important to study World War II, because a lot of the stuff that's happening right now is just a repeat of history.
Build the wall.
And everybody is in just denial of the shit that's going on.
Or I'm just doing my job.
Yeah, I'm just doing my job. Whatever happens in the White House doesn't matter. Only what happens in my house.
Everything we do matters.
Yeah.
And there is complacency going on, and it makes me sad.
I don't know, history does repeat itself. If you study history, it just...
Right in front of our eyes.
Future. It will.
You know, we lost a bunch of rights in 2016 and nobody noticed. Yep. You know, it's illegal to protest now.
Well, you have to get a permit.
Or be in a designated area. What the hell is that?
Away from the tourists and part of downtown areas, because it's all about cosmetics and money, and that's
control.
Why, that's one of the reasons why we're doing this homeless documentary, because like Fort Collins and Loveland, they don't like the homeless problem because it's taking away from their businesses, and cosmetically it's ugly and unattractive, and so they're like brushing the homeless problem underneath the rug.
Instead of doing what we should do, which is getting them set up. I mean, these people can't function, so help them. But instead, they've declared war on them and blamed them for vandalism and drug abuse. And most of these people just need help.
Yep, it's true.
So we want their voice to be heard. That's why we're doing the documentary.
This documentary should be probably completed by July, but we're going to try to get it into some film festivals. We have the British Documentary Film Festival in London looking at it, and that's pretty awesome.
Yep, they liked the trailer.
Yeah.
Fantastic job, Dustin.
Thank you. Do you have any scary stories? We have 24 minutes.
I have all kinds of scary stories.
I got a ton of scary stories.
Why don't you go? I went last time, I think.
All right. So I'm gonna go back to the whole car experience. Keep the theme. This isn't like a super scary story, but it involves an accident. So my parents used to take me to this cabin in Lake City, Colorado, and it's one of the reasons why I fell in love with Colorado and I wanted to move here. So before the vacation, my dad took the truck in to get, just to tune up and get new tires and things like that. And apparently the mechanic didn't tighten up the lug bolts on the back wheels. And so we went on our vacation. There was no sign of a problem. The truck was driving fine. The vacation was over. We're headed back to Flagstaff. And all of a sudden, I don't remember, have you ever been to Lake City? Lake City's kind of a remote town of 500 people, a lot of Texans.
Blink and you miss it.
You blink and you miss. Well, actually, it's a destination city. It's in the middle of the San Juan Rocky Mountains. It's remote.
Yeah.
It has a lot of cool history, mining. I'm trying to think. There's 3 14ers in that area. There's Engineer Pass. Anyway, it's a big 4th of July celebration for Texans. The majority of Texas goes there for a week around 4th of July. So we used to go there.
500 people.
Yep. So we used to go there all the time around 4th of July. So the vacation ended. We're driving home through some crazy mountain roads, minding our own business, jamming out, enjoying ourselves. And all of a sudden there was this loud noise, the left side rear tire. Uh-oh. And my stepdad was kind of ignoring it. Oh, it's fine. It's just the road, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, the back of the truck just falls. Because we had an ATV in the back, weighing it down. So the whole back of the truck just falls back. And my stepdad's like, oh my God, trying to control the truck.
Oh, that was loud too.
It was loud. The tire, the lug nuts came loose, and the whole tire came off.
Oh my God. Danger.
Yep. And thank God we had the ATV in the back, because the weight of the ATV pushed the truck down, and the whole brake drum was dragging on the pavement.
Could you see sparks?
There were sparks, and it happened. It was just like Carter's story. It was
how fast were you
slow
going?
motion. Country mountain roads,
50?
maybe 35, 40 miles an hour.
That's not too bad, but you're still in motion.
Well, you know what Rocky Mountain roads are.
Yeah.
They're windy and curvy.
Switchbacks.
Mm-hmm. So the whole truck falls. I'm freaking out. I'm grabbing onto the back seat, oh God! And my mom's screaming, and
Dad's sweating.
He's sweating. Oh, and fuck, and
sparks flying.
Yeah, and he's pumping the brakes, and we finally slow down. But the time felt like it lasted forever. But it was only 30 seconds. 30 seconds to a minute, maybe.
30 seconds in a crisis is a lifetime.
Yep. And so the whole truck just stops, and we're just what the fuck just happened? We get out, and we look at the left brake drum, and it is just ground down to nothing. And there's this big, long, probably mile cut
oh my God,
into the blacktop of the road. just this long cut, and then there's tire skid marks from us. And the tire was gone.
Oh, of course.
Probably there was a river. I think the Gunnison River was on our left, and the tire just flew out. It was gone, and we thought maybe we could find it. So we're walking around looking. We never found it.
The ATV stayed in the back of the truck?
The ATV was tied down and stayed in the back.
You're lucky you didn't flip.
Oh yeah, dude. So this is at the start of cell phones. The reception was still pretty shitty.
3110. Nokia, right?
Yeah, it was a Nokia. Had green screen.
Yeah.
And so we
couldn't
only had
break it for nothing.
Yeah.
It was indestructible.
It was ugly, like
bar phone.
It was ugly fucking phone.
You didn't have flip phones yet.
So we're climbing the hills trying to get signal, and there's just no way. And there was highway patrol people or highway patrol officers driving down the road, and we're flagging them down, and they just would pass us by.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They didn't even notice the tire was gone or the road was jacked up.
They just drove right on by. And
Awesome.
so we were all getting frustrated, and it's getting dark, and this was before GPS on phones busted out in Atlas, and there was a little small town like 40 miles.
40?
It was about 40 miles. Yeah.
Did you guys hitchhike?
No. Luckily, we had the ATV, so we pulled the ATV off out of the back of the truck and all piled on the ATV and drove.
You all fit on the ATV?
It was a Big Bear Yamaha.
Yeah.
Big Bear. Huge fucking
The roll
thing.
cage on it?
Size of a, probably like a Volkswagen. I mean, huge.
That's big.
That's an exaggeration, but,
Still fit in the truck.
It was a Dodge Ram truck. Pretty big truck. Big truck.
You could fit a bug in a truck like that, I think.
Probably. So we all piled up on this ATV and drove into the next town, got a tow truck, and stayed in the hotel and got the truck took like 3 days to get repaired. And let's just say my dad was pretty pissed off at the mechanic.
Yeah, right.
He was fuming, but it was really scary. I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, it is scary. I've got a quick little ghost story.
Go for it.
So I'm pretty young. I'm probably 10 or 11. And I've always had a hard time sleeping. So I'm up and
Me
down
too.
pretty much all night. But as a kid, my room was across from my sister's. And right outside my door was a ceiling fan. Huge fucker.
Whole house ceiling fan, right? And it's
Yeah.
a whole house fan.
And you turn this thing on, and it sounds like a damn airplane taking off. Excuse me. I might have to excuse myself.
You got to poop?
No. No, the boss took off for a minute. I got to keep my ear out for customers.
Okay. So if you hear a ding dong, Jason has to leave.
Yep. So anyway, I'm kind of in and out of sleep. Where you're like half sleeping. And out of the corner of my eye, I just see this white shadow floating around. It's like a blob that has no real form. And I look over and poof, it goes up in the ceiling fan. Whoosh. Gone. Whoosh.
Whoosh. What does that feel like?
All the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and this occurrence happened probably 3 or 4 times that same year. And every time it would float by my door and shoot up into the attic. And all of these things, only when the fan was on. And that fan would clear the house out of any kind of stench wind, stale house smell.
Are you telling me
Everything.
the ceiling fan was like a blender and all the ghosts would be like get caught up in it and torn up? I'm just kidding. Okay.
I don't know.
It
but
sucked
it
air
scared
from the
crap out
basement
of
all
me.
the way up.
Suck out the farts.
That kept me up a few nights. There was another time around the same time period where, does anyone ever have, what is that, where you're stuck asleep? You can't move when you wake up?
Sleep
Paralysis?
Sleep paralysis.
Yeah, it felt like that, I think. And I couldn't see very well. But I was looking at the bottom of my bed, and there was a form there. And it was humanoid.
Black figure.
Yeah. And at first I thought it was my dad. And I said, "Hey, Dad." And when I said that, this thing morphed into something else. Like, it was really scary. It almost had a beak and skeleton eyes, long hair. And I started screaming. Somebody needs to get in here. That's not my dad.
Were you screaming like a little girl? What?
Oh yeah, this was like 2 or 3 in the morning too. Like, yeah, that kept me up for days. It still keeps me up sometimes. I think about it because it was so surreal. I swear to you, my dad was at the foot of the bed until I said his name, and then it was my dad.
Wow!
I pooped my pants.
You really pooped your pants?
I don't know. I remember.
Wow. So I have a similar story to that because sleep paralysis is very common. Actually, everybody will experience that in their lifetime. It's a very common thing. A lot of people forget, and there's still studies being done. Some scientists say it's just a sleep problem, severe stress. Some people believe it's actual paranormal activity.
Have you had sleep paralysis, Erika?
I'm sure.
Maybe we should do just a podcast just on that. Like we bring other people in and talk about their experiences with that.
We'll have to put that together. If you're interested and have a story, a sleep paralysis story, get a hold of the Gorehound Playground.
So we have 13 minutes. Do you mind if I tell my story real quick?
Please.
All right. So I used to be the lead sound guy, or one of the lead sound guys at the Lincoln Center in Fort Collins a few years ago, and I was also in school. And to save money, I didn't have a car, and we had a show set up there, and I ended up staying the night in the dressing room because it was snowing, and I just was like, I got to get up early anyway and come back. So I slept on the back couch, and the Lincoln Center used to be an old elementary school, I believe. One of the first elementary schools in Fort Collins. And so I was sleeping in the dressing room on the couch, and I fell asleep, and I kept hearing strange noises down the hallway of like feet walking up the hallway into the dressing room where I was at. And I kept telling myself it was just like the air ducts and the heater popping on. But I kept hearing it, and then I finally dozed off, and I woke up, but I couldn't move. I was like stuck there, like my body just couldn't fucking move. It was like something was sitting on my chest, but I was like awake. I was paralyzed. And then there was this big, tall, hooded, black figure standing over me, almost like the Grim Reaper, looking down on me. And I remember freaking out and yelling like, "Oh!" And I couldn't even get out a word. It was like even my voice was paralyzed. Wow. All I could do was like,
growl at it.
Growl. And it really freaked me out. Like, really bad. And I started asking after that whole experience, I was asking my friends and other people about, have you ever had this experience? Have you ever done this? And then I started doing some research on the internet, and I found out it's actually a very common experience.
I experienced that, but eyes closed. So it still feels like sleep? Mm-hmm. Interesting. That's scary.
So, it could be a paranormal thing, or it could just be like, it's like your dream state is superimposed on reality. Like you're awake, but you're not. And I don't know. But it tripped me out.
Yeah, brain-body connection, not quite going all the way through, or whatever.
But it was a very creepy experience. There's a documentary on YouTube about all that. There's this guy that had sleep paralysis every single night, and they started filming him, and he would wake up with cuts and bruises, and they didn't know how he was getting them because he wasn't doing it to
Right,
himself.
if it's paralysis, how does that happen? Getting bruises.
I don't know. That's a creepy part.
Yeah, really
But-
creepy.
So it's really common for people to either see the black hooded figure, or a lot of people. This would be really freaky. I'd freak the fuck out. An old lady sitting on your chest is another common visual.
She clothed. She naked.
She hot.
Grandma on your chest. In the middle of the night waking up. Yeah, that would freak me out.
If she was a gilf. just kidding. We're going to end the show a little early. If you guys have any stories, don't forget to email us at gorehoundsfilmmakers@gmail.com. Stop in. We have a meeting this Wednesday. And that's it from me. Take care. This is the Gorehound Storytellers Hour. Thank you, Erika. Jeez.
Thank you.
All right. See you later, Jason. He's not here. He left.
No, So?
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
Stuttered a lot. I did. I can get my words out.
Oh, it's fine. Because you guys like catch yourselves and don't make it any more awkward. You just kind of go, okay, I fucked that up, and continue. So I like that. I think that's comfortable. I have sent this to my dad, and Amy, another girlfriend, and she really liked it. She thought the stories were coming out real nice. They enjoyed listening to it, so they're kind of wanting more, which is great.